This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities.
Good morning and welcome to Wish TV's Business, Equity, and Opportunities. I'm Scott Sander. Every Sunday morning at 10, we focus on the business community, specifically the entrepreneurs and small business owners who are creating jobs, growing the local economy, supporting their neighbors, and giving back to their communities. We're here to provide valuable information to help you get started or offer resources that develop the skills to better operate a business you have. To help, we reach out to other business owners, community leaders, and educators who share their experiences and insights into small business success. Every week, we feature 7 segments covering important topics that are critical to starting and running a successful small business. You can watch the show every week here or catch the live stream on wishtv.com. You can also access all of our content and share it on demand anytime at beoshow.com. Visit that site often for updates, resources, new segments. Also, sign up for our new newsletter, which is updated every Tuesday. Coming up today on Business, Equity, and Opportunities, we get marketing and public relations tips directly related to small businesses in running your business day to day. Our accounting and bookkeeping segment looks at new digital resources that are making money management easier for small businesses. And today's success story introduces you to Kathy Langham, the force behind one of Indianapolis's most successful logistics companies. We begin with our first topic, getting started. Each week, this segment touches on some of the planning and preparation you need to consider from the very beginning to get your ideas off to the best start. This week, we find out what a business model canvas is and why you might want to consider one to help you create your business plan.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Getting started.
Emil Echior, founder of InnoPower, shares how a strategic management template can give entrepreneurs a head start with their new business plan.
Today, most people use the term business model, right? And in trainings and schools you go to today, people use what's called a business model canvas. That tool allows you to look at your business as a whole. What's your value proposition? What makes you unique, right? Who's your customer? How do I reach my customer? What mediums am I going to use to reach my customer? What does my customer want? How much are they willing to pay, right? The front end of all of that is so important to a business, right? Because I've had great ideas and failed in the past because I based those things on assumptions, right? I never went to identify the customer, talk to the target customer, understand what the customer really wants and what they're willing to pay. So without all of those, it's pretty hard to get investment dollars because people invest in you to make money back. They don't just give money away. To get money back, they want to make sure that you are making some money or you've made some money before I give you my money, right? And I think sometimes there's a misconception that people invest in ideas. You know, there are a lot of ideas, right? People invest in people. People bet on people. Like, I believe in that CEO, right? He's gonna make sure this happens. He can make this idea happen. He has the team around him to make this idea happen. The grit, the desire, and he has a great idea. But he has a plan on how this, he understands his customer, the market he's trying to reach, his resources, what resources he needs, the people he needs, all of those things. So if you don't have those things, in sports we say you're drawing plays in the sand, right? And you don't win many games drawing plays in the sand, right? So again, it goes back to the playbook. It's, okay, you have this idea, now how are you gonna do it? And that's what people wanna know. People wanna know the how, and then the who. So the need for a business plan, a business model, is so important, right? Because that's the first thing you wanna know when you sit down with people. Have they thought through this? And if I need money from a bank or from an investor, from my family, right? I want to know that you spent some time thinking through this and you could pay me back. And the only way you're going to pay me back is when you make money. So everybody goes into business to make money, period. I tell people this all the time. Nobody goes into business to pay back loans. So it's revenue, 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 revenue. So how do I show that I can make money, I can generate revenue, I can generate revenue, I can generate revenue? You have to have a plan, and you have to be able to articulate that plan in detail. So not having a plan and thinking you're gonna move, if somebody has done that, then I just need to know how they did it, right? Because it doesn't work in the real world that way.
When we come back, we have insights on angel investors and what you need to know about their expectations. That's in our Access to Capital segment. Then later, we find out how innovations in digital technology are having a positive effect on small businesses. If you'd like more information about today's segments, be sure to visit us online, beoshow.com. And if you have any questions or you'd like to be part of our show, email us, beo@wishtv.com. We'd love to hear from you. This is Business Equity and Opportunities. We'll be right back.
Getting Started, made possible by the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities.
Welcome back to Business Equity and Opportunities. Our next topic is access to capital. That is how easy or how hard it may be to raise the monetary resources you need to make a dream a reality. So you have a great idea, you've put your business plan together, but you need money to make things happen. How do you go about asking for money?
From Wish TV, this is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Access to Capital.
John Thompson is a very successful businessman who's found great success in investing in new small business startups as an angel investor.
Well, the thing that I started doing about 10 years ago that I do increasingly is I'm an angel investor, investing in many, many companies to help them grow. I do it with a profit motive, making a return. But at the same time, I'm very pleased that it creates and attracts high-paying jobs. One of those companies is TMAP, Make My Move, where we're the number one company. If you're interested in working remotely in America, we're the number one company for you to deal with. Our website is the website for remote workers around the country. And that business is, we've gone from 5 million remote workers in America pre-pandemic to 36 million today, remote workers. That's how prevalent it is. And those people are determined to stay remote. They're gonna live where they want and do their jobs remotely. They're determined to do it. So if you won't let them do it, they're gonna quit. And so we do that both offensively and defensively. We work with companies so that their remote workers, maybe they're working remote, but they stay right here in Indiana. They don't leave the state. And then in other cases, we're working with communities to attract remote workers. That's a hot area, but it's also good for the state. Remote workers tend to make their high-paying jobs, very high-paying. And when you attract a remote worker, you're attracting, it's very unique, two things, a worker and a job, because they're bringing a job that didn't exist in this state, and the state benefits. We get the income tax from that job. They move here and pay property tax, sales tax. They eat in the restaurants, shop in the stores, and you name it. And so they bring a lot of revenue. And we've attracted a lot of remote workers working with communities. And folks will say, well, you know, who want to live in a rural community? We've shocked people. We'll put ads in for someone to move to Greensburg, we got 2,000 applications. Now, Greensburg's paying an incentive, and Greensburg created content on our website. They created an idea. One couple became grandparents. They said, we're your local grandparents. So not just they'll babysit, but they'll go to the softball games and the baseball games. They'll go to the dance recital with you. So you're cheering for your daughter because her grandparents live in, who knows, New York City is where her grandparents are. So they can't be at all of those things. I mean, it's just free meal once a month. A lot of things to acclimate people to the community. And then we put all of that content on our website. It's the #1 remote worker website in the country. And so I invest in that company. I think it's going to be very, very, very successful. And many others. Scale is manufacture edge computers. I'm very confident that company is going to do well, and it has done well. It's grown to be over 100 workers, mainly here in Indiana, making $85,000 a year plus. Those are the kind of jobs you want to create. So I can go on and on with those kinds of investments. We have a new company, Spoke Note, where we produce little stickers with QR codes. You buy a pack of 10 stickers. When you send your grandkid in out of state a gift, you put a sticker on the gift. When they scan that QR code, there you are, happy birthday. And it's you and maybe, your husband or your sister or cousin, doing a little cheer for them. You can't be at their big championship baseball game, but you send that QR code. So that's Spoke Note. And there's many other things that Spoke Note can do. But that's kind of the next chapter for me, investing in those kind of companies with a preference for Indiana-based businesses. I think it's twofold. One, I can help our state, but two, I can get a return doing it. I think there's a lot of talent in the state. We have one company here in the state, MetaCX. They're creating an entire new ERP system. So for a company to operate that creates equal value between multiple, so not just the customer and the vendor, but other relationships. And you are creating value differently and better than you have in the past. And so that's MetaCX, and those guys were some of the founders of ExactTarget. And so the beauty of it is many of these entrepreneurs stick around town and reinvest in new opportunities. And that's phenomenal.
Up next, in This Week in Business, how you can be part of something called the Reverse Trade Show. It's sponsored by the Indianapolis Office of Minority and Women Business Development.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities.
Welcome again to Business Equity and Opportunities. The Indianapolis Office of Minority and Women Business Development is a key resource for small businesses in our community. And throughout the year, the office holds events and workshops specifically designed to offer opportunities to the small business community. One of the signature events is coming up later this month.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. This Week in Business.
Coming up August 24th, the Indianapolis Office of Minority and Women Business Development is holding its popular Reverse Trade Show. David Fredericks is the director of the OMWBD. He has details of some of the opportunities at the event and why you should attend.
The Office of Minority and Women Business Development was established in 1987. our office is the certifying entity for the city of Indianapolis. So if you are a minority, women, veteran, or disabled-owned business enterprise, and you want to be certified by the city of Indianapolis in order to participate in city-funded opportunities as well as city-supported opportunities, then our office is where you would come to get that certification. Two of our enterprise officers, actually the two individuals who work with you when you're doing either a new certification or recertification, also offer coaching, and they will assist individuals whether they have questions about the certification process, if they have questions about their business plan, their marketing strategy. Really all of our team has a certain level of expertise in a particular area, so we're able to help and walk individuals through certain aspects of the business. But mostly it's a lot of sort of the basics of, making sure they've got their paperwork correct, that they're incorporated correctly with the city and with the state. And then we just help them through that process and sort of to navigate what it means to do business, not only with the city, but just in general here in Indianapolis. Any business that is domiciled and headquartered here in the state of Indiana is able to be certified with us. We do require that businesses be in business for at least 2 years, but if there's a particular business that is in a specific industry or they have an immediate opportunity, we do have a waiver process that they can apply for to not have to worry about the 2 years of business. But primarily, as long as your business is headquartered and domiciled here in the state of Indiana, and you fit into one of those categories, whether minority, women, veteran, or disabled-owned business enterprise, then you can get certified through our office. We are a big supporter of Indiana Businesses First, and so we are trying our best to engage with as many diverse businesses in Indiana, specifically Indianapolis, but we also know that there are some businesses outside of Indiana that want to do business in the city of Indianapolis. So our job is to assist them to get certified, but then also, like I said, to learn how to navigate the processes of doing business with the city, doing business with the state, and then doing businesses with some of the other agencies and entities that report to the city. We have a couple of standing events that we do every year. Like I said, we just finished with our support of the annual Indiana Black Expo Business Conference. That's an event where we participate in the business conference as a whole. We also host the mayor's breakfast, which is the kickoff to the business conference. We also do a event in the end of the year called the Mayor's Year-End Forum, where we take the opportunity to look back at all the work that's been done for the previous year and then give folks an opportunity to see what's coming up in the beginning of the year. And then throughout the year, we do small workshops. So we do workshops on how to get certified. We do workshops on what's called the good faith effort process. And then we're going to be moving forward into 2023. We're going to be doing some workshops on other skill sets that we know business owners are looking for. So what does it mean to develop a marketing strategy for your business? How to put together a good strategy for your business if you're looking for financing and loans and things of that nature. So those are things we're going to be focusing on in 2023. Coming up in August, though, we're having what we call our Reverse Trade Show, which is an annual event that's been taking place in our office for quite some time. So that's a big event that we're looking forward to. And we call it a Reverse Trade Show because your typical trade show is companies that are looking to drum up business. They have a booth, and then individuals come and they mingle and connect with them and network and find business and things of that nature. So we took the idea of how do we reverse that, and we bring in the various city county agencies that have opportunities, that have projects that they're going to be working on, that they're looking for diverse vendors, and we bring them all into one spot and then invite our certified vendors to come out to that event and to meet and mingle with our various department heads. So they're getting the opportunity to talk directly to individuals that will be making decisions about who participates in a project. They get the opportunity to speak to purchasing individuals and find out about the processes and what they need to do to be engaged on this process. So it's, like I said, it's a reverse, so to speak, of how you normally would go to a trade show, where you get to come and sit and go from booth to learn about each one of the different agencies. And then we're also going to have a couple of workshops as a part of that, where we're focusing on talking about some of the larger projects that are going to be taking place in the city of Indianapolis. So for instance, we know IU Health and the new hospital that they're building is going to be one of our participating organizations, and they're going to be talking about a lot of the opportunities that participate with that. But we're also going to have some folks who are going to be talking about some financial services that can be provided to small business owners as well. We are asking folks to register. If they go to our website, they can obtain information for registration. It is free to the public. There is no cost to register or attend. The only thing that we are asking that we would like folks to do is just to go through that registration process. That way, after the fact, let's say an individual comes and they're not a certified vendor, we want to be able to reach out to them and see if we can assist them in getting certified so that they can participate, because that's going to be sort of the one caveat that a lot of folks are going to run into is they come to the event and they start talking to individuals and departments. Those individuals are going to ask them, are you certified with the city of Indianapolis? So you may not be certified, but this will hopefully be the carrot that will get some folks to get certified with us.
And now, a Business Equity and Opportunities Extra.
This week brings an opportunity to network around the world without ever leaving our area. The Indiana India Gala is at the Roof downtown, Wednesday the 10th. Wish TV is proud to be a sponsor for it. If you'd like to know more about it, maybe attend, go to beoshow.com. We'll have the information for you. When we come back, accounting and bookkeeping are among the most important areas that every business must deal with. Find out how digital technology is making it easier for small businesses to compete. Business Equity and Opportunities will be right back.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities.
Welcome back again to Business Equity and Opportunities. Digital changes in the banking sector are making life a lot easier for small businesses to compete. We explore the effects and the advantages in this edition of Accounting and Bookkeeping.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Accounting and Bookkeeping.
Tim Spence, the new CEO for Fifth Third Bank, discusses how new advances in digital banking are making things easier for small business owners and their customers.
Especially in this time where we have social challenges that we didn't have in the past, where technology is playing a role in the business that it didn't 20 years ago, and where the people that we compete with don't look like the traditional competitors that we would have competed with in the past, that having a fresh perspective, being somebody who grew up. I mean, I learned to code in Logo in first grade, who had the alpha client of Netscape Navigator running in my library, and the first computer that I saw in my high school gives me a little bit of a unique perspective on what maybe is to come. It already has had a big impact on our ability to provide access to customers and to give them tools that allow them to manage their finances easily. But a lot of those gains have come in helping it make it simpler to service your account. So you can get your account balance up to the minute available on your mobile phone, or you can simplify the way that you would make a check deposit. I think in the future in the business, the tech development really is going to be focused on providing our customers with software that actually allows them to live better, right? Tools that actually help you to set your savings plan, and that algorithms that run in the background that move small amounts of money on your behalf into your savings accounts to help you set up the plan in order to achieve it. And then to help you personalize those sorts of goals, so that when you see a t-shirt that you might otherwise want to buy on Instagram, the thought process in your mind is not, hey, it's an extra $1 out of my checking account, but rather, this is my child's birthday fund. Do I want to be a good dad and keep the money in the birthday fund, or do I want to be a bad dad and get that t-shirt that I saw on Instagram? I think technology is really going to flatten the scale curve, and in particular take a lot of the hassle out of starting your business. There are things we don't have the ability to control, like government. You think about the impact that digital could have on the licensing process or the permits and the approvals process. I think there's lots of opportunity for innovation in government there. But in terms of getting your account set up, getting payroll processed, accepting payments, remitting payments to your suppliers, these are all things that required bookkeepers and a large back office to manage in the past that you're going to be able to do in a much more seamless and automated way right out of the gate as a business. I think we're already seeing that in a lot of parts of the small business ecosystem. Big breakthroughs come from fresh perspectives on how to solve old problems, right? Not from solving old problems a little bit differently than they were done before. So for people who are starting businesses, I always really encourage them to spend the time that's required to really think through what the issues are with the way that somebody handles their books today in our business, right? Or how somebody plans for and saves for college, right? Or the ways in which we think about how we spend our free time. And then you want to deconstruct those problems in ways that really allow you to understand how you can bring new technology or new solutions or better advice and education to the process for your customers.
If you'd like to know more about this segment or any of our episodes, visit our website, beoshow.com. There you'll find resources to help you create your own successful small business. And be sure to sign up for the BEO newsletter. Still to come on Business Equity and Opportunities, we look at marketing and public relations. That's coming up in Running Your Business Day to Day. Business Equity and Opportunities. We'll be right back.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities.
Welcome back to Business Equity and Opportunities. This week on Running Your Business Day to Day, we get advice about marketing your small business.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Running your business day to day.
Part of creating a successful business is knowing how to reach your customers. Ashley Scott, the founder of Cerulean Consulting Group, has some tips specifically for small business owners in this segment of Running Your Business Day to Day.
When you're first starting your business, I tell people, do not be afraid to invest in your brand and your marketing. That is the backbone of who you are. It's all about how you show up to the world and are consistently introducing yourself over and over again. Folks make quick decisions about whether or not they want to purchase your product or your service, so you want to make sure that every touch point, from your website to your social media to the interaction that they have with you in the first consultation, or even if they're just looking at your product on a shelf, you want to make sure that that is consistent with the message that you hope to send. And at your core, that core meaning, that mission statement that you have, it should emanate through every touch point that you have with these individuals. When you created your product or service, it is my goal to help business owners uncover their commitment to community. So why did you create this product? Why are you providing this service? Is it to solve a problem? Is it to help someone overcome a challenge that they're having? Is it an opportunity to inspire them to take action? Or is it just to provide comfort or joy or beauty, right? If it's art, for example. We are in a digital age where it's really easy now for folks to discover new and exciting opportunities. So when you're building your brand and you're giving yourself the opportunity to design the look and feel and experience of your product, it's important that you invest in your marketing, invest in your branding, because that is the first time that someone is interacting with who you are and what you offer. When you're first getting started, or if you're an established brand, as you are growing, pay attention to your customer base. The easiest way to serve your customers is to get repeat customers. That's the fastest way for you to grow. And if they're happy, they're gonna tell other people that they're happy. So when you are exploring your customer base, you wanna take note of what they like, what they don't like. You wanna understand what problem you're solving for them. It may be different from the initial problem that you thought you were solving, and they might be purchasing your product or service for a completely different reason. So in our business, we really help people uncover what those key metrics are. We do market research, and we do customer profiles, and we do all sorts of focus groups and different things to help the company get a better understanding of how they are positioned in the marketplace. If you need to rebrand your business as a result of the research that you've done on your target audience, your customer base, it is not the end of the world. Do not be afraid. It is absolutely okay for you to start over or just pivot a bit and tweak your messaging. So there are plenty of opportunities for you to, spruce up your branding on your website, think about how you're showing up in images, think about, your messaging and your written communication, like your electronic newsletters or your social posts. There are so many ways that you can grow your company without having to completely start from scratch. So absolutely, there's always room to improve. So don't put that pressure on yourself. It's okay. You're gonna be okay.
Up next, our industry focus this week looks at the business of performing arts. From community theater to national touring companies, Indianapolis has a growing arts community. That's coming up on Business Equity and Opportunities.
Running your business, made possible by 1150 Academy. This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities.
Welcome back to Business Equity and Opportunities. This morning in Industry Focus, we look at a very entertaining topic. Anytime you go out for the evening to a show, a concert, or take in an art exhibit, you are supporting the performing arts industry. In turn, that industry benefits our community through the joys and jobs it brings. In Indiana, it's considered a high return investment. According to the Indiana Arts Commission, it adds more than $8 billion to Indiana's economy.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Industry Focus.
Tom Alvarez is our On the Aisle contributor for Lifestyle Live and a longtime theater journalist here in Indiana. He gives us his insights into what's happening behind the scenes in the exciting world of performing arts.
It would seem to me that the business of the performing arts is really flourishing right now, especially post-COVID. I've been out reviewing shows since March of 2021, okay? When things began to open up a bit. And my sense is the larger venues, including the Palladium, the Indianapolis Symphony, Hilbert Circle Theater, the Murat Clues Hall, all of the major large venues and all of the small, mid-sized theaters and small theaters, audiences are coming back. Business is good from what I can tell. And also from the standpoint of administration, I think fundraising, actually during COVID, people continue to be very generous. So I think that overall business is really good for the audience from the standpoint of audiences buying tickets, donors making gifts to support these organizations, and just overall the people who work in these venues, and people who are in the theater companies and the musicians and all of the artists. And then of course there's all the businesses that support the performing arts. The restaurants downtown around the Symphony, the Hilbert Circle Theater, the restaurants out in Carmel. And so all these associated businesses that depend on the arts, I think. So it's all coming back, and I think in many ways it's, the message is out there that the performing arts are in really good shape. They provide jobs for not only the artists on stage, but all of those behind the scenes. People who are in costuming, the lighting designers, the stage managers. So these are jobs for people who are in the arts. Sometimes people mistakenly have this perception that the arts are a luxury. Well, they're not for the people who perform and put these shows on for the enjoyment of everybody out in the audience. So, it's very important that they be supported. And of course, the performing arts, I think, an important thing that we should remember. For Indianapolis, some of these larger organizations that I mentioned before, like the Symphony and the Palladium, and even the Cabaret downtown, we're a cultural attraction in the region. People drive to Indianapolis within 3 hours to go see shows, our Broadway series, shows at the Palladium, shows at the Symphony. I cover all of these, so I'm aware of the quality of the performers that they bring in here. And so we've got a really vital scene here. I don't think people realize. In the wake of the social change and reckoning that came as a result of the Black Lives Matter, it was starting before that, but I think we're really seeing the results of it now. I'm seeing more and more, not only people of color on the stage, I'm seeing a push among even the professional theaters to find Black artists to become scene designers, lighting designers, costumers, even stage managers. There aren't that many right now, but that's because they haven't been trained or have matriculated to theater schools. But we're beginning to see that, and we're beginning to see a conscious effort on the part of theater administrators to create opportunities for people of color to be backstage and, of course, on stage. So I think inclusiveness is becoming more than just window dressing. I think it's really becoming a reality, and that's really exciting for people of color. There are opportunities out there, and people want you. You just need to reach out and find out where they are. But those people also need to be proactive and say, well, I don't know where they are. Well, they're there. You have to find a way to discover them through your local theaters, your local high schools, colleges. There are young people who want to work in the arts. They just need a break or an opportunity to get their foot in the door. I see in the last couple of years, I have seen 3 or 4 small theaters go online. The only problem is it's very competitive, there are only so many donors, it's only so many dollars, and only so many foundations, but it's not impossible. And I think the smaller theaters, it's often tough for them to compete, but theaters come and go because that's kind of the natural process. But we have a really exciting landscape of the arts, big and small. So, and the smaller theaters are really doing a really good work, and there are a couple that are run by women, which I think really speaks to the movement that's going on.
So we are a 501c3 nonprofit, and so we work a lot with organizations and foundations to receive grants and funding that way. We also are fortunate to have a lot of individual support as well in the community. And so with those resources, we're able to cover all our costs, we're able to pay our artists and function at a professional level. We are also able to maintain our space. That is one thing. Two, thinking of these past couple of years where we haven't been able to offer as much programming, which is a revenue source for us as well, with tickets and our small enrollment fees for our students and things like that. So one thing that's really been beneficial as well and has been great to see is such a great push in the city, especially from the Arts Council of Indianapolis, to support local organizations. We benefited from the Payroll Protection Program, from a Shuttered Venues Operators Grant, from a Restart and Resilience Grant from the Arts Council of Indianapolis, and just all these great resources, which really shows how Indianapolis and really our country, if you think about the CARES Act funding that we received, really value the arts and show an understanding for how important it is to create and to be able to share our stories. I think what sets us apart really is our mission and our focus on inclusion and access and equity and diversity, and really allowing our artists in our community and our community members to be the authority on their own story in our space and to really have ownership of what we do. We opened our building back in 2019, and our handprints are everywhere. We had volunteer days where folks came and installed the seats you see here. They were hand painting some of the details on the walls with our conduit and things like that. And it is such a cozy space, is something we so often hear from our audiences. And it's also so great to see that in our education programs as well with our youth. They often will have notes and ideas floating around when our classes are in session, and they're all so comfortable here and feel so at home. And I think there's a lot of value in that, and I think that is really what theater is all about, is bringing people together and collaborating. I think the future looks pretty bright right now. There are a lot of smaller groups that are starting up. There's a lot of energy with how things have been reopening after the pandemic, both on the business side of things and also on the creative side of things. Everyone's really excited to get back to work and to be reunited again, creating with our community. And I'm really excited to see what blossoms out of these next couple of years for these younger companies that are starting up that we are happy to support as guest companies in our space, and also just some of the younger creatives that are really starting to make their mark in the city as well, because I think there are going to be some really awesome stories to be told.
Coming up next on Business Equity and Opportunities, Kathy Langham shares how she got started in the logistics business and how it's turned into one of the most talked about industries in the country. Stay with us.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities.
Welcome back to Business Equity and Opportunities. We've covered several ways to help you create your own successful business. In our success story, we look for inspiration from one of our community's most successful business owners.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities Success Story.
Each week, one of our contributors shares the path that led them to the successes they have today. This week, Kathy Langham, President and CEO of Langham Logistics, shares how it all started and how she continues to succeed.
Well, I was a Kelley School grad with a marketing major and a merchandising minor. And after school, I thought that was a perfect fit, so I ended up in trucking. The more I interviewed in marketing and merchandising, the less I wanted to work in retail and work nights and weekends. So I cast a bit of a wider net and ultimately took a job with a less than truckload common carrier. So I did that for a few years, left there, went to another trucking company who asked me to really open a new concept in trucking, franchising. So it was a new concept in local terminal or local operation management. So I opened their first franchise. I was 25 and single and nothing to lose, so I opened their franchise, and then a year later opened an air freight forwarding franchise, sold both those, and then opened this company. So it was just sort of a evolution. I kept saying yes and to new opportunities, and then blink of an eye, this company's over 30 years old now. A lot of people ask the question, you know, a woman in a man's world, and what was it like, and were there a lot of challenges? And I've got to say, yes, I was in trucking, so I was an anomaly compared to a lot of my co-workers and the people I worked with. But growing a small business, whether it's trucking or any business, I don't care if you're white, black, yellow, male, female, you have the same challenges. You know, you're worried about meeting payroll and finding banking relationships and finding customers and providing the right level of service and all that. So I wouldn't say it was different for me. It was the same, but it's always difficult. It's always a lot of hard work. I love the fact that people know what logistics means. And I think as one outcome of COVID, a lot of people understand supply chain and logistics more than ever, and now it's it's a sexy thing to go in. Before no one knew what it was and it didn't seem that appealing. Now we have a lot more interest, and so that has attracted a lot of different sorts of potential employees, and it's just elevated the importance of supply chain. So I would say in the last couple of years, logistics has become a household word, and it continues to evolve and have tons of opportunity for entrepreneurs, for employees, and for our customers. Future planning is still critical for us. I think we still have to stay nimble and flexible and thoughtful and really on top of all the latest information that's going on. We have plans. We have a 5-year plan, we have a 2-year plan, we've got this year's plan. And having said that, we've got to be nimble and ready to pivot if something changes. So we still do it. A couple of the biggest things that a new entrepreneur needs to think about is, number one, having the right people around them. So whether that's an employee or a mentor or a customer, really to be thoughtful about who can I learn the most from, or who can be most accretive to what I'm trying to do. So that is big. Tenacity is big. Don't, forget about sleeping at night, because you're working day and night, and just continuing to build strong relationships, whether it's bankers, whether it's, for me, truckers, whether it's customers, whether it's employees. Build strong relationships, be thoughtful, keep your eyes open, be willing to learn. Don't think you've got all the answers. Just bring people into your life that can really help you. And you'll be fine. Keep working.
As always, our special thanks to all the contributors who joined us for this episode of Business Equity and Opportunities. You'll find more information about today's show on our website, beoshow.com. A reminder, every week we provide 7 full segments, each designed to offer topics of interest, both to business startups and those of you currently operating small businesses in our community. Topics range from how to get started and how to access capital, to the day-to-day running of your business and questions about accounting and bookkeeping. We feature business news and trends, and always a success story from one of our contributors. Join us every Sunday here on Wish TV at 10 in the morning. We have more insights into the world of small business. You can also catch the live streams through wishtv.com. You can also access all of our content and share it on demand anytime at beoshow.com. Be sure to sign up for our Business Equity and Opportunities newsletter to get even more valuable, up-to-date information. And if you have any questions, and again, if you'd like to be part of our show, please email us. The address is beo@wishtv.com. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Scott Sander. Thanks for watching.
Business Equity and Opportunities is made possible by Indiana Economic Development Corporation and 1150 Academy.